Horizon Just Home UX, and this is Iran claims to Iran. We say Iran. Is it Iran or is it Iran? I don't know. I'm guessing it's Iran because English always butchers, basically, pronunciation of Middle Eastern countries and I don't know, Asian countries. Maybe it's Iran. Iran claims to detect the F-35. It is likely true. This is my channel Sandboxx. Way too many people have been telling me that I should watch Sandboxx because many others are like Wikipedia clickbait, propaganda things that I've been watching apparently. So yeah, I try to watch all sides of videos. Why not? That's how it should be, right? There is no group. There is no is this or this. Take all the information and make your mind up from there, I guess. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Okay. Is that is there such a big deal to, I guess, detect F-35? I guess it's how fast, right? I mean, you can detect stealth planes, but the whole point is how fast. Did you detect it before it was too late, or what? Because I'm pretty sure nothing's undetectable, right? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the smallest, cross section in radar is F-22, not F-35. So I don't know. Did somebody ever detect F-22? I guess they never use F-22 that much to know. I don't know. F-35 is going to be interesting. Let's watch it. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe. So I know which type of videos to direct tomorrow. Check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. And yeah, let's watch it.
Late last week, Iranian Air Defense General Reza Hajj claimed that Iran had been actively detecting American F-35s operating over the Persian Gulf. And as a result, there has been a flood of commenters and even some news outlets claiming that Iran has cracked the code to peering through the stealth of America's most advanced fifth-generation fighter. But is it true? Well, sorta, but not in any of the ways they'd have you believe. Let's talk about how Iran is actively leveraging misconceptions and confusion about what stealth is and how stealth works to advance this narrative. Let's start with the bottom line up front. There is a very big
See, I already knew this. Like I said at the start of the video, yeah, you can detect. It's surprising to me that in just past few months I've been watching so many fucking videos that I have more general or more than what is general knowledge? It's like what everybody knows of. I like to think I know more than literally everybody knows of. So I don't know. Yeah. So I like to think I know more than most everybody knows. I don't know. So I already knew this. Like you can detect stealth, or like how fast.
difference between detecting and targeting a stealth fighter. And stealth fighters are designed with this important distinction in mind. Now, among the aviation nerd community, it has long been well understood that stealth fighter designs are specifically oriented toward mitigating targeting via high-frequency radar arrays. In other words, stealth fighters are designed to be stealthy against the types of radar arrays that can guide a weapon into a target. However, design elements inherent to stealth fighters, like their standing vertical tail surfaces or their big gaping jet inlets, often produce a resonance that is detectable via low-frequency early warning radar. But there's a problem. These low-frequency arrays can't guide a weapon into a target. They don't produce the image fidelity needed to get what we call a weapons-grade lock. And as a result, stealth fighter designs are specifically made to mitigate detection specifically against only high-frequency arrays. Stealth bombers, on the other hand, are an exception. Stealth bombers don't need fighter-like aerobatic performance, and as a result, they can omit things like standing vertical tail surfaces or big open jet inlets. As a result, stealth bombers are very difficult to detect via low-frequency array and very difficult to target via high-frequency one.
Yeah, so there's many more elements, right? I mean, I knew that, but it's like one of those things that even if you knew it, I forgot it, I don't know. But when he said it, like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I remember that. There are many elements of like stealth, right? Radar cross-section is just one of them. Like what radar? What type of radar, right? Like F-22 might have like the smallest cross-section, great. But it's like some of the, like he said, early warning radars and things like that. I'm pretty sure stealth bombers is like untouchable in that element. That's the whole reason they look like flat disc. They don't have like those back wings that he talked about, right? Because you don't need stability. You're gonna like You're gonna fly straight. You're not gonna make moves and things, right? Even their like air intakes are really weirdly shaped, I guess. So it's never gonna get And also, like, what was that, like, Northman, whatever, that company basically tries to hide the like heat signature somehow, right? Which is insane. One thing I've realized, like, you hear about like all these awesome companies who makes like F-35, F-22. How the fuck I'm forgetting the name? Yeah, but that company. Basically, you hear about that all the time, but you don't hear about Northrop, at least not outside of the US. But when you realize that, wait a minute, they create some of the awesome technology that is untouchable by anyone, right? Japan is using basically Northrop to make a new jet plane. We'll see how good that is, right? But yeah, the whole thing about like like stealth is many elements, and targeting is the one issue. Because one thing I realized, a moving target is already hard to attack by any like guided missile, right? Even normally. Now you add stealth to it. That's the whole point. Like, how are you gonna take it down? Which SAM is gonna use? Like, which type of technology SAM will use that will take it down? That's insanity.
As stealth fighters compromise by being detectable via low frequency array, but being very, very difficult to target. In other words, when stealth fighters are operating over your nation, you usually know that they're there, you just can't target them to shoot them down. When stealth bombers are operating over your nation,
Imagine, like, oh my god, F-35 is here. Well, I'm pretty sure it was in the north. No, wait a minute, now it's in the south. Wait a minute, I'm pretty. Oh no, wait a minute, now it's in the east. How are you gonna track it? You know it's there. It's like the hidden element of panic, right? If you don't know what's coming, it's better, I guess, right? But if you know something's coming but you can't find it, that's worse. It's like, oh my god, there's somebody in your house. Like, what the fuck? Now what? Now what am I supposed to do?
you may never even know they were there at all. Now, this is commonly understood among military planners and aviation nerds, but because the general public doesn't have a real clear understanding of how stealth designs interact with different frequency radar arrays, nations like China, Iran, and Russia often leverage this confusion, this misconception, to advance narratives like the idea that they've managed to poke a hole through the stealth of America's most advanced fifth generation fighter. The truth is, America is well aware of the fact that these nations sure ought to be able to detect the presence of their stealth fighters. America just also knows that they can't target them. And that is a very important distinction.
Hold up there. Let's take a second. Why is Iran? Why am I saying? Why is Iran flexing that it can detect U.S. jets when it's using Russian technology? And the Russian the one who's supposed to flex? Is Russian trying to stay in the background, like, oh, we are not fighting against like US or something. We are not the enemy, not directly, like how China and US thing is. But Iran is kind of like directly like conflict with US because of like Houthis and what the Middle East like right now happening with the Israel and things, Palestine thing. So maybe that's why Iran is flexing. I don't know.
And as one final parting shot that's important for context, it's also really important to understand what a Lunenburg lens is. Lunenburg lenses are radar reflectors that aren't always easy to spot with the naked eye when an F-35 or an F-22 flies by, but they produce such a prominent radar return that it renders these aircraft very detectable via high and low frequency radar arrays. There's a number of reasons why you might fly with Lunenburg lenses on. One is just making sure that air traffic controllers and other aircraft are well aware of your presence when operating in a non-stealthy or tactical situation. But another reason might be to advertise your presence to adversary forces. And that's exactly what this F-35 deployment to the Middle
Watch out, fool! Like, what the fuck? What was that? Like, oh, on your left. It's like the Captain America movie, right? On your left, and just runs past you. That's the scary part, right? I'm here, but you can't do shit.
East is all about. The United States announced that they'd be deploying more than a dozen F-35s to the Middle East more than a month ago as an intentional message toward Russia over Syria and Iran over the Persian Gulf. And if F-35s have been operating in the area with Lunenburg lenses on, that would make a great deal of sense. Not only would it advertise to these nations that F-35s are now in theater, but it would also make it impossible to try to discern what their actual radar return may be, so that if they were to pull these lenses off the aircraft, they'd have the best chance at operating without being detected at all. So, at the end of the day, when you see a nation like Iran or China or Russia claim to detect stealth fighters, you should understand that that's exactly what we'd expect they could do. That comes as no surprise to anyone who's well informed about military aviation. You won't see them claim, however, that they can target them, because that's
Yeah, see, anyone with a basic scientific knowledge, right? Knowledge about physics and how the technologies are like rising. There's basically nothing out there that you can't detect. That's the like celebration of the 21st century science, right? That's the whole thing. We put like a lot of sensors everywhere, even in the like seas and everywhere. There's even like some kind of like a disturbance, let's just say like submarines or something in the fucking water. We can detect it, right? That's Yeah. This is insanity. Of course we can detect it, but like how accurately, how fast can you target it? Like that's the question.
what they were designed to be difficult to do. Ultimately, these Iranian claims are little different than when Russia leveraged public confusion about what modern hypersonic weapons are to say that their air launched ballistic missile, the KH 47 M2 Kinzhal, was a modern hypersonic missile. These nations are relying on the public to be too poorly informed to see through their disinformation. And the best way to combat disinformation,
I mean, that sentence literally apply to 90% of everything. Every fucking thing. That's not a one element of like even the current, even fucking Pepsi and Coke uses that, right? Everything. Politics uses that as like main weapon, right? Whether it's like a good element or bad element in politics, like, here, is that a good element in politics? Anybody comes to power will use that. Like, that's the whole point. If every single public becomes like really aware of their like general knowledge around things, like scientifically literate, 90% of problem goes away, because everything always relies on misinformation, like, like twisting it, right wing news nowadays point blank lies. Somehow that works. Left wing news does that similar thing, but in a very different way. They try to take what is truth and try to twist it, right, and try to mold it in a way so they can just say like, we didn't lie. Yeah, you didn't lie, but you didn't really tell the truth, did you? You changed the picture. So everybody uses different way.
is by reading beyond the headline and doing a bit of research. And if you're still watching this, full disclosure, I appreciate you relying on me to help out with that.
Good channel, very good channel, man. I can see what people were talking about. This is just one video, but yeah, I'm gonna find very complex topic videos from him. It looks like he's like one of those people who's a well informed and basically like Federation, but in like good global geopolitics. It's gonna be fun. Right, well, it was Iran claiming to detect the F-35 is likely true. Yeah, it's like, yeah, everybody, yeah, most countries, most powerful enough countries should be able to detect it. It's like, if you have like any, like, let's say, I'm pretty sure Indian Space Research Organization of India probably makes some basic detectable equipment that India can use to detect most things. That's how basic it must be, right? I'm guessing here, obviously, but yeah, that's how I know general knowledge of physics and how like technologies work today, and yeah, but how fast? Like, okay, it's here now. It's like basically what was that? The Freddy Krueger scream type. Let's Scream. I'm pretty sure it's like a Scream movie. It's somebody's in your home. It's just like, what? And there was some movie called Telephone. Was it Telephone? I don't know. There was like a movie when somebody's like, I'm in your house. Like some babysitters in home. I'm pretty sure I watched when I was a kid. Babysitters in home, picks up telephone, wire telephone. Apparently that was a thing. Yeah, and it's like, okay, somebody's in your house, and it just becomes a horror movie. This is basically that. And they want you to do that, I guess. They want you to know somebody's there. Not just safety concern, but also like psychological warfare. But yeah. Right, well, if you like my next one, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.